Well, this is happening when we came out of church today. Snow! Today's high is going to be 37 and snow. Let's go down that road. No! We have accumulation.
It's still coming.
Oh my goodness. This was not supposed to happen.
How exciting.
I did the snow theme, right? Yeah, I put that snowflake on the door that just said, okay, come on, bring snow. Hello, faithful people. Wow. Okay, so we have been informed by everybody here that that snow is very unusual here.
This kind of snow.
And yeah, and it would just happen to be when we're here.
We are so blessed.
I'm Orlene.
I'm Gary.
And we're gonna just walk around the park here. The trees are absolutely gorgeous, and our bird feeders are just full of birds. A lot. We had 6 cardinals, which was really cool, and you could see them very well in the white snow. The trees are just, I mean, this is just so unusual. You can see in the background, look at that, isn't that beautiful?
Yes, it is.
But the danger for us, or the concern I should say, is we have 2-inch walls. We have 2-inch walls, we have single pane windows, and we're not a 4-season RV. We're by a long shot. We went out last night and bought a second space heater just in case. So we had the 2 space heaters going last night, plus we had the furnace kick in as well at one point during the night. We're trying not to run the furnace very much because it takes propane, a lot of propane. But on the flip side, our electric bill is going to be up a little bit. We do pay electric here at this park. But we had to do a few precautions on the outside, a few things to prepare for this. We were given warning that we were going to have a freeze warning. We were not expecting all the snow though. Oh man. So we're going to show you some of the things that we did outside. There, we built a little snowman. He lost his, isn't he cute?
Well, we wrapped up our hose. This is where the faucet is under there. And then there's a old rug and another old rug over the coils, and it goes up, and that's all insulated with this little tuft on top.
That's our hose that goes into the house, and last night you disconnected it.
Yeah, I disconnected this and that and shut the water off outside.
Yeah, so we just used what was in our freshwater tank last night. What's this all about? Did you do that, or did?
Yeah.
Okay, and that's our surge protector, right?
It is. So
Okay.
far it's protecting us. The lights are all green, right?
I wonder what the numbers mean. Yikes.
Are they spinning really fast?
No, they're not. That's good. Gary dumped most of the tanks last night just to have those empty. The gray water and the black tank, we just kind of let those go, but there's really no problems with it being, it's not like we're below zero, even though my hands are freezing right now.
Well, then let's go in and warm up.
Gotta put some shoes and boots away as soon as they're dried off. That's our entry. That's our foyer. This is the second little space heater that we got last night. It's oscillating. It's a quartz heater. And boy, it was nice. It really warmed up the feet, didn't it?
It certainly did.
And then we had it aimed so that it was going under the sink to keep the pipes and everything in there warm and toasty. And this is the space heater we've had this for a long time. We had it when we were still living in a house, and it's been working pretty good. It oscillates also, so it's really kicking the heat out pretty good. We keep it about 64 at night, and the little one we had on low during the night, and that kept things really warm in here. And then the furnace, the thermostat's way up here, and by the time it gets colder up here, well, anyway, we have that set about 66, so that does not kick in a lot. We're going to explain just a little bit about that bucket that was outside, in case you're wondering what that was all about.
The bucket actually covers the faucet that our hoses connect to provide a water supply.
Okay.
Under the bucket, there's also a cone that's made out of styrofoam that covers the faucet. So you have the bucket on top of that, and it provides a good shelter from freezing. There's also the extra hose that comes off that's just curled up in a coil underneath the two old rugs that are out there covering them and keeping them close to the ground, keeping the frost off. So that helps to keep it from freezing up. So we have to disconnect the hoses again tonight, just to be on the safe side, because it's still snowing and it's getting colder, and yeah.
And probably tomorrow night too. Tomorrow night's supposed to be down
even colder,
like 27, 28, and some people are saying it might get a bit colder than that. Yeah. Like I said, we're not in below zero kind of stuff. But when you have 2-inch walls and you have single pane windows, it's cold.
right? And our basement is wide open. We don't have skirting around it. None of the people here do, because it doesn't stay cold that long.
And it never snows here.
Never. Well, a little bit, but it never accumulates.
Not like this.
At least not this much.
Yeah.
We are so fortunate.
Our timing is impeccable. Okay, now, one of the things you may be noticing is our curtain back here. I made these earlier this summer. I'll put a link to that at the top. Just 2 panels that I bought at Walmart. They were insulated drapes, and I made 3, enough to cover 3 windows in here. So we were doing that, as well as the space heaters and the vent covers and all those kinds of things to keep things warm in here.
And we have one blanket that we use to cover the doorway overnight.
Yeah.
So that helps tremendously.
We've done a video on how to keep warm in the winter in an RV or in colder temperatures, and so we have lots of videos on those kinds of things, but I will put a link to that as well.
This has been fun.
If you stick around, you will see a recipe. It's a vegan taco, and it tastes really good.
Mm-hmm.
I'll show you step by step how I made that. It's very quick, easy, and you don't need a lot of ingredients, but it's super healthy. What's for supper tonight we're going to make a vegetarian, actually a vegan, tacos. Our meat is going to be chopped walnuts, which I need to chop those up a little better. If you have a food processor, you can do it in that. I don't have one, so I have to do it with a knife. And then I'm going to cut up some baby portobello mushrooms. And then I use riced cauliflower because that's already cut up for me. And then you mix those together in a pan or in the oven, however you want to do it. I use a pan. And that's going to be our meat. And it tastes awesome. You can hear our little space heater in the background. It's right behind me on the floor. This is about how fine I chop it. Maybe it could be a little bit more yet, but I'm going to go with that. And then this is how fine I chopped the mushrooms. The other thing I'm going to add to it is some onions. I already have those chopped up because if you're making tacos with meat, you're usually going to add onion to it, right? So I'm going to do the onions and the mushrooms and the walnuts and the cauliflower. I'm starting with the onions. I'm going to get those soft. And I did not use any oil because the walnuts will have oils in them. Next, I added in the walnuts and the mushrooms. And I'm going to let those cook for a little bit before I add my cauliflower. The cauliflower is frozen, but it's such a tiny amount that it won't take long for that to cook. And just add the cauliflower. I try to keep about equal amounts. You could probably put a little bit more in. I know, just a little bit more. There, that's good. About equal amounts of the mushrooms, the walnuts, and the cauliflower. I try to keep about equal amounts of that. In the meantime, I am reheating some leftover quinoa, and that is going to be our rice. All I did was just add a little bit of water to it to re-moisten it, and I'm going to have that on a low burner of cooking while this is cooking. And then we're going to get the oven started so we can warm up the corn flour tortillas. These are the yellow corn tortillas. They are gluten-free, as you can see right there. And I'm going to just put them on our pizza pan because we don't have a cookie sheet. We just have a pizza pan. We use that for everything. Gary's going to start the oven. He already started it. Okay. He turned the pilot light on and then he had to light it in the back there. Now you can see a nice flame came across and it's all going from back to front. And that'll warm up the oven. Just going to have it on a low heat. We got it on about 170 and that should be enough just to warm up the tortillas and make them more pliable. I arranged them on the cookie sheet like this. There's 6 of them, so we'll each get 3. Gary is chopping up the rest of the mushrooms that we had left so that they'll be ready for another meal. I'll put those in the freezer. Now, just like with any meat thing that you're making, you're going to add some spices to it. And I'm just going to do some Himalayan pink sea salt and black pepper and chili powder. Probably a little garlic too. And just videotape this. Gary likes a lot of pepper.
I do.
Pepper is good for you. Makes you sneeze. Just keep warming that up and keep working with it and stirring it. And now I'm going to get my tortillas ready to put those in the oven. There's only one rack in here. You do not put it on this one. Only on this one. We found that out the first time we used it. That's good. The leftover mushrooms are cut up and ready to go in the freezer, just as is, in a freezer bag, and then I'll just take out what I need for future meals. You can use dairy cheese if you want, because we're making a vegan meal tonight. We're going to just use this brand. I love it. It's called Daya. The one thing it does not do is it does not melt real easily. It takes a little bit for it to melt, but it still tastes good. And it's dairy and lactose-free, soy-free, gluten-free, and it's made from, some of their cheeses are made from chickpeas. This one has pea protein in it and some other things, and somehow they make it taste like cheese. Okay, the beauty of this kind of meat is that all these things can be eaten raw. So you don't have to worry about cooking it to the right temperature or anything like that. You just wanted to have it warmed through and maybe a little bit browned. That's all. So we're going to plate things up now. I already flipped these over about halfway through, and now we're going to take those out, put them on the plates, and dish things up. Because the cheese doesn't melt real easily, we're going to put that on the bottom. And then we'll add the hot stuff on top instead of the other way around. Now you can add tomatoes to this. We normally would have salsa with it, and we don't have any salsa. Good planning. So we're going to use some guacamole instead. Next we're going to add the quinoa. Quinoa is not a grain. They call it an ancient grain, but it's actually a seed, and it's gluten-free. So if you're going for a grain-free diet, this is another thing you might want to consider, is using quinoa. We eat a lot of quinoa. It's high in protein. It tastes good.
It actually tastes good.
I made mine with vegetable broth instead of just water. Sometimes I'll add vegetables to it, carrots or whatever. And now the meat. Where's the beef? Not here. It is surprising how much a portobello mushroom tastes like meat. It tastes like beef, though. And I'm going to show you how I make portobello mushroom burgers in an upcoming video. I tried it one time. It was absolutely phenomenal. I'm going to try it again. We're not going to be able to fold these. You could also use this vegan meat for a chili, or just about anything that you would use hamburger for. You could use this mixture. We're going to have some left over. Let's leave it.
Probably make meatballs out of it.
Yes, you could add an egg to it. You could shape them into meatballs. You could add some kale to it and make meatballs. That would be really good. Mr. Spice Guy is adding, so it's blurry. There we go. Is adding some cayenne pepper to his because we don't have the salsa.
No salsa, but
Yeah, I may try that too. I've heard it's supposed to burn belly fat. Isn't that appetizing to talk about? Yeah. And now for the taste.
This is going to be messy.
You say that about a lot of the meals we eat.
It would be much better with salsa, but this is still pretty doggone good.
All right. We are using a new tripod that we got with a light on it. You know, to buy vlogging materials and vlogging equipment can be pretty pricey. This is one good side of people being at home now because of COVID, is that they've come out with some very inexpensive solutions for people vlogging and working from home. So we got this kit for $20 at Hobby Lobby, of all places. And it has a ring on it. I'll show you a picture of it and you can see what it looks like. But we're doing this on our phone and the phone is on top. So I can't show it to you till after we're done. If you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button down below. Next to it, a bell is going to pop up. Ring the bell and click on all, and then you will be notified every time new videos come up. Check out our Facebook page, Roads of Faith, for more pictures, features, stories. And until next time, stay warm and God bless.